I'm going to go over my last minute bets and predictions for UFC 290. But before I do that, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, as we have brand new videos every single week. So let's get into it. In the main event, we have Volk versus Yair. It's an interesting one because, in all honesty, Yair is not on Volk's level and probably shouldn't even be getting a title opportunity. This doesn't mean that Yair doesn't stand a chance. He's had some wild striking and he could catch Volk, but the safe bet would be Volk by decision, which is a plus 110. But what I think is a slightly more interesting bet is Yair via doctor's stoppage. I know that sounds crazy and usually would be a very wild bet to put on, but Volk's had this plaster on his cheek all week, which means he's got a cut and he's trying to stop it being infected. If I was Yair, I'd be targeting that as much as possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if Yair opens up that cut and makes it drastically worse and we get a doctor's stoppage, which would be a plus 5,000. So for odds like that, I think it's worth popping on a little bet. So in the co-main event, we've got Moreno versus Pantoja, and don't forget, Moreno has lost to Pantoja twice already, once when they were on Tough together and back in 2018. But now they're such drastically different fighters, and Brandon Moreno has had a lot of 5-round fights, whereas Pantoja never has. And I think the 5-round experience is what's going to get Brandon the win. I think Pantoja in the 4th or 5th round is going to start to get really tired, and Brandon's going to be able to take advantage of that and get him down and submit him, which would be a plus 900. But if you pick the 5th round, it's a plus 5,000, which is crazy odds, and I genuinely think that could happen. In one of the most exciting fights of the night, we have Plessis versus Robert Whittaker. The reason it's so exciting is because of the high stakes. The winner of this will get to fight Izzy at UFC 293 for the belt. I can see this fight going one of two ways. So with Plessis, if he comes out swinging in the first round, he can be incredibly dangerous, and within that first round he has a lot of strength, and we've seen Whittaker rocked before and KO'd, so it's not out of the realms of possibility, which would give you a plus 1,200 odds. But after the first round, Plessis' chances dwindle drastically. His cardio is shockingly poor, and even Brunson gave him some trouble on the feet. What my real prediction is, I think Rob is going to tire him out and batter him up, and in that 3rd round he's going to get a TKO. I don't think it's going to be a knockout because I don't think Rob really has that KO power, but I think this is going to be a ref stoppage due to unanswered strikes, and if you go with that, you'll get a plus 600. And then we move on to Turner and Hooker. I'm not actually sure if this fight is going ahead, as Turner missed weight, coming in at 158 pounds. I'd be surprised if Hooker didn't take the fight and he gets a little bit of Turner's purse, so it's probably still on the table. Usually you'd say, okay, Jalin hasn't cut as much weight, so he's got the size advantage, but don't forget, Hooker's quite big for the division anyway, and their reach is exactly the same. And this to me shows that Turner's not been dieting correctly, and he's not been doing as much training as he should be in camp, and he's not taking those extra steps he should be doing, and it means he's tried to kill himself making weight. So while he's continuously trying to make weight, Hooker's already weighed in and he's off hydrating, and he's going to have that slight advantage there. So I think with Hooker's experience, I think he's going to take him to a decision. With Turner, I think he's going to be quite tired and he's going to be fatigued by the 3rd round, and Hooker will just be able to piece him up. So with a decision for Hooker, that'll be a plus 550. Then we open the card with Nickal VS Val Woodburn. Val is a last-minute replacement as Go pulled out, and Val is a drastic underdog. The poor guy doesn't even have a picture, but he actually has more MMA experience than Bo has, and is a former champion. So perhaps he could get a flashy KO, which would be a plus 2,000. However, Bo is just too good, and Val won't have the conditioning needed for this fight. I think Bo's going to tire Val out and in the second round drag him down and submit him, which is a plus 700. So those are my last minute bets and predictions, but please remember to gamble responsibly. I do think that's all we've got time for. Thank you for watching. If you can like, comment and subscribe, it really does help us out.